10 animals that changed history. Animals are known to be loyal buddies one can ever ask for. To know the 10 animals that changed history, keep watching. Number 10. Montauciel, the sheep. People sought to see if humans could tolerate time spent at high elevations in the 1700s. There had previously been some pilotless hot air balloon trips, and the first trip with a wild animal went off in 1783. Montauciel, the sheep, flew in the balloon with a duck and a rooster. The experts concluded that if a sheep could make the journey, so could a human. The animals were generally unhurt when they returned. Number 9. Snowball the cat. A murder case shocked the small Canadian island of Prince Edward Island in 1994. Shirley Duguay went missing, and her body was discovered months later. Most people blamed her ex-husband, who was noted to be aggressive. There was, however, insufficient evidence to condemn him. It is until someone discovers blood-stained clothing, footwear, and white cat hairs in a bag in the woods. Douglas Beamish, the victim's husband, had a white cat called Snowball. A scientist at the United Cancer Institute performed a DNA test and discovered that the cat hairs in the bag matched Snowball's DNA. Snowball's testimony, combined with evidence from the victim's body, was enough to condemn Beamish. Number 8. Pickles. Not to forget a high-profile robbery. Just before the beginning of the 1966 World Cup, the Jules Rimet trophy was taken from its reportedly secure placement in London's Central Hall. The British investigators on the case were all unsuccessful. High-profile corporations offered prizes to anyone who discovered the trophy. A week later, a guy called David Corbett was strolling with his dog in a South London area when the dog, Pickles, began sniffing just behind a shrub. Corbett rushed over to look, and, to no surprise, the Jules Rimet trophy was wrapped in newspaper and hidden beneath. Pickles won a silver award from the National Canine Defense League for his discovery and even participated in the espionage film The Spy with a Cold Nose. Number 7. Smokey the dog. There are several examples of dogs undertaking heroic feats in a war. However, Smokey wasn't a Labrador or a large muscular dog who came to the rescue. She was a Yorkshire Terrier. During World War II, American forces attacked a Philippine airport. They could only communicate from the airport by establishing telephone lines into an underground pipe. Getting humans to install the wires would have been difficult and risky, but Smokey stepped in to help. She went to a corporal, who summoned her and assisted her in navigating the pipe with the wires linked to her collar. That was smart. Number 6. Jim the horse. Beautiful Jim Key and his owner, Dr. William Key's entertainment show was viewed by an astounding 10 million Americans in the late 19th and early 20th centuries and was covered in every major newspaper. Not bad for a weak quarter horse. Beautiful Jim Key learned to read, write, spell, add, determine the time, organize mail, and operate a cash register and telephone thanks to Bill's compassionate teaching tactics, which he demonstrated in front of ecstatic crowds around the country. Beautiful Jim Key's presentations brought African Americans and whites together at a time when they seldom met. Number 5. Balto the dog. In 1925, doctors in Alaska had a potentially fatal dilemma. A diphtheria outbreak was threatening Nome, Alaska, a community on the extreme west coast of the state, and the sole serum that could rescue them was in Seattle. Officials developed a long-shot solution to supply the medicine by plane. They would deploy numerous dog sled teams to convey the antitoxin to the community. Balto, a black and white Siberian husky, led the crew sent to the last leg, which sprinted through a blizzard in the middle of the night to deliver the serum. Balto's owner, Gunter Kasson, said 3 words when he arrived in town early on February 2, 1925. Damn fine dog. Number 4. Elsa the lioness. George Adamson, a Kenyan game warden, and his wife Joy welcomed a tiny lion cub named Elsa in 1956. Elsa was nurtured and cared for by the Adamsons at their house in Africa for many years, learning to hunt on her own and developing the skills needed to live in the wild. The couple eventually freed Elsa, and she lived. Joy published Born Free, a nonfiction book about her experiences with Elsa, in 1960. 6 years later, a film based on the book was produced to critical acclaim and is credited with popularizing animal conservation. Number 3. David Greybeard. Until 1960, scientists thought that only humans could create and utilize tools. However, on November 4th, the same year, Jane Goodall witnessed a chimp called David Greybeard extracting termites from a termite hill using a grass stalk. Later, Goodall watched David Greybeard and another chimp making fishing equipment out of twig leaves. Number 2. Cher Ami, the pigeon. This homing pigeon lived true to her name and was a dear friend to American troops during World War I. Cher Ami carried 12 messages while serving with the United States Army Signal Corps in France, yet none were more crucial than the note she sent in early October 1918. Major Charles White Whittlesey and far more than 500 soldiers were caught behind enemy lines that day with little food for ammunition. Whittlesey sought to send signals to his regiment by pigeon, fearful that his battalion might be murdered by friendly fire. The very first 2 birds were gunned down, but Cher Ami made it through a hail of bullets to deliver the message. Woohoo! Number 1. Dolly. This furry little bundle of joy came from the abdomen of one of her 3 mothers on July 5, 1996, becoming the first animal to reproduce from an adult cell. Dolly's birth demonstrated the viability of a somatic cell nuclear transfer process, which involves transferring the cell nucleus out of an adult cell into an egg cell, bursting it with electricity, and implanting it into a surrogate. Dolly died at 6 from a lung condition, but the cloning technology used to create her was later applied to larger mammals, such as pigs and deer. These animals have my heart. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Thanks for watching!